Okay, looks like we're live on the Electric Scooter Guide. Thanks everybody for joining in. This is Chuck with Electric Scooter Guide, and today you're watching episode 9 of we call this a Scooter Chat live show. Today we are featuring the Kaabo Mantis, which is right behind me. Can't wait to dig into that. This scooter is kind of a unique scooter at its price point. It's unlike anything we've seen before. Also, please welcome our special guest, which is Julian for now. I hope I'm saying this right. He is the CEO and founder of Fluid Freeride. They make everything from the Mosquito to the Horizon to the Wide Wheel, the Kaabo Mantis, and the Kaabo Wolf Warrior, which we've reviewed and done a lot of work on in the past. Hey, and welcome everybody from YouTube. I'm just looking over at the comments. Hey, Mark and Brian McKay, from Facebook. And okay, Fluid Freeride has logged in, so you can go ahead and ask any questions you want to him about this. Hey, everybody's. Yeah, it's nice to see everybody saying hi. Hey, Tim and Schmolker. Great. So, all right. So, Electric Scooter Guide. Our mission is to simplify the electric scooter market. Patrick, is to simplify the electric scooter market by providing unbiased tools, reviews, and this kind of stuff, so that you can make sense of this really new market, which is unregulated, which we're really trying to do a lot of work on. And hey, wow, cool. Hey, Marco and Koji. Hey, Koji. Sweet. Yeah. Good to see everybody. Chuck Norris. Yeah. So welcome to everyone watching on YouTube. We are not on Instagram from now on. Instagram just didn't have enough people, whereas we get thousands of people on YouTube. So if you're on Instagram, you won't see this until you watch the replay. We will post the replay on our channel. And so, boom, we're good. Also, we do this show every Tuesday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is I was off for the last 2 weeks. I was out on a real vacation in the UK and Scotland with my fiance. I did get a chance to meet up with Ben Fox from Ben Fox's channel. We'll make sure to post a link to his channel in there. He's kind of an inspiration for us in terms of his video work. So he's done some really cool videos on a slew of different scooters. And he has a ton of followers, and he's from Carsile, I think. So I met up with him at the YouTube studio in London. I also got to meet his brother, which he helps a lot too. Great guys, had a blast. So that was a lot of fun. Also, on a little bit of a somber note, our photographer Eli, special shout out to him. If I yell loud enough, you could hear me because he's only about 5 houses down. He did get pretty badly injured right after, I believe, or right around the last show that we did a couple weeks ago. He got a cracked pelvis in 3 spots. He cracked his skull. It wasn't good. And so, he's back from the hospital and everything, but please, give a shout out to Eli. If you look at our Instagram, all the last couple months of photos have been his. So anyway, he's doing better, and he's in a wheelchair. So, that's a bummer. But he's still with us. He's probably logging in today, I'm assuming. Also, the mod at the Reddit that we manage, Fed Up with Tech, he also got an injury and was in the hospital for only 1 day, which is terrible. So one thing we're going to work on after this week is we are going to work on a lot of safety information on the Reddit. I posted, why did you crash? I'll be going through all those and then making a video and some posts on what are the things that y'all need to do before you ride the electric scooter for the first time, because whereas this really is such a benefit to society, it's a benefit to cities, it's a benefit to the environment and all that stuff. It's new and it's a little bit dangerous compared to other things right now, and you just need to kind of get some ground rules. So if you've been riding a long time, you probably know what to look out for. You probably crashed once or twice, as I have. So anyway, we will work on that. Sorry. Yeah. Thank you guys for all the wishes about, Eli. That's awesome. Really appreciate that. So for our community, and just so you know, Eli is actually in super good spirits. He's a resilient kid. And so I really appreciate everybody's concern for him. It was a bad injury. So our community, we are on YouTube, as you know, because you're probably watching YouTube. So make sure to subscribe if you're seeing this, and that way you can get updated on our shows, on our reviews, all that good stuff. Follow us on Instagram because we always post Instagram, kind of like all the newest stuff gets posted to Instagram. The other newest stuff actually is now getting posted to our Facebook group, which is growing really fast. We have a lot of exclusive content for the Facebook group. Also, we are not responding to any emails anymore because there's too many emails. If you have an email and you use a website for contact us, I'm just going to send you right to the Facebook group. Just post your question there. We are doing a super good job. We're getting on there 2 or 3 times a day now, and you're getting not only answers from us, but answers from the whole community. So that is like really, really good. Give me 1 second. I'm going to just pop on the live chat on this laptop so I can see all your comments as I go real quick, because the other screen is a little bit too far away. So bear with me for just a second. So anyway, join the Facebook group. It's just go to Electric Scooter Guide and you can see the Facebook group. Awesome. Yeah, Marco, bought the Mantis. Okay, great. So let's see here. So I'm going to just go through a little bit of news. So we have industry news coming up next, and then I'll get into the Mantis and how that performed, how it rides, all that good stuff. So first news, Voro Motors, they are launching the Emove Cruiser. I believe they're shipping now. We actually will get ours today. It should be at the co-working space anytime today. There's some not controversy. They upgraded it to there's a lot of upgrades on that scooter. It was upgraded to IP67 for everything except it was not upgraded on the throttle and display unit, right? They fixed that, and now everything shipping is actually IP67 for the whole scooter. So I know it wasn't advertised 100% well on the website, but that is the news, is that it is IP67. So as far as electric scooters go, the most water resistant that are officially water resistant would be the Emove Cruiser at IP67 and then the Boosted Rev at IPX7. Believe it's X7. Voro, it's on our website. I need to look at the review. Someone will correct me in here. Okay. Hey, Anthony. Okay, so then let's see here. Voro Motors has 4 new service centers in the United States. That would be in Florida, Washington, D.C., Chicago, and Hoboken. Hoboken is across the river from New York. So congrats to them on getting those service centers. And if you have Voro Motor scooters already, you can get service from them there. Customers located in the EU, so the European Union, which for now includes the UK, can test drive the latest Emove Cruiser in 4 locations through authorized dealers. So if you're in Amsterdam, Spain, Denmark, or Croatia, great place to ride scooters is Croatia. You can get to test them and check out the Voro Motors website, voromotors.com, boom, and you can find out their service centers. Mini Motors USA is just releasing the Raptor 2 and the Speedway Leger, Leger, however we want to say that. So that is fun. Okay, and then wide wheel issues are getting resolved. Fluid Freeride has done a fantastic job of being just really a stand-up company. It's a Mercane product, but they found the issue with the brakes, and it's getting fixed. If you bought it from Fluid Freeride, I'm sure you've gotten a bunch of their communication already. If you have a wide wheel and you bought it somewhere else in the world or on AliExpress, don't ride it until you get the brakes fixed. Okay. Let's see. Next up for us, for Electric Scooter Guide, the next reviews will be the Emove Touring and then the new Emove Cruiser. We're retesting a bunch of stuff on the 010X. we're redoing performance. So we redid the range test yesterday on the 010X, got 24 miles. We're redoing the performance data on the Xiaomi, the Swagger 5, and the GoTrax. Just because we have updated equipment, it might be a slight difference. And then we're also going to be doing reviews on the Mosquito by Fluid Freerides and the Glion Dolly. So look for those like really soon. Sorry, yeah, boom. Thanks, Marco. Correct. He double checked the IPX7. Cool. So I'm going to try to keep track of what's in the live chat so I can answer your questions as I go. And Julian is on as well, so you can ask him some questions. So first thing is Kaabo Mantis. Julian was kind enough to give us a new coupon code just for the next 7 days on the Mantis. Typically when new scooters come out, there's no discounts or anything like that. However, we do have a coupon code which will give you the fast charger with any version of the Mantis. The coupon code, I'll put it in the notes, the description. Maybe Justin, if he's on there, you can edit the title and description. I forgot to do that this morning, but it's electric-scooter.guide for Mantis, I believe. If you add that and the fast charger to your cart, it's free. It's $129 value, I believe. And that is awesome because we typically, it's hard. It's not often that we get great kind of like deals. And this is just for us. There's no one else that has this coupon code for any Mantis right now. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can just get through a couple questions first. Yeah, so New Horizons asking battery cells on the Mantis Pro, and I need Julian or Justin to answer that for me. Let's see, fingerprint sensor. So fingerprint sensor, I think on the Pro you might be able to just because it's the same eye motor as the Dualtrons. Again, Julian will be able to confirm that. M365, basically waterproof. So the deal with electric scooters, I one day asked, so this is regarding waterproofing. I message like every manufacturer about waterproofing. Typically, almost every scooter is unofficially IP54. Nobody's going to go out and say that. And if you've got a bunch of like water damage and stuff like that, typically it's not going to be covered under warranty. There's a couple that are officially IP54. The only one that comes to mind is the wide wheel. Although solid tire scooters, not really good for the rain, right? You want pneumatic tire scooters. Cool. And then these specific questions, David Demuth, loving his Fluid Freeride Mantis Pro, awesome. 10 by 3 inch tire. So I believe the tires are 10 by 2.5 inch. The 3 inch tires, you're going to have to ask Julian. We just finished testing, so we haven't done a ton of modifications yet on this scooter. Great. So, yeah, Swagger 5. So someone's asking about the Swagger 5. This person's at 250 pounds, and they went 4.5 miles before it died. So we're hearing a lot of comments on lower battery scooters. The Swagger 5, I believe we tested that at 8 or 9 miles of range, and I'm a 165-pound rider. When you move up to 250 pounds, I don't recommend getting a 250-watt motor with a small battery, unfortunately, because we're getting a lot of reports that it's like 4 to 6 miles of range, which is not great. Cool. Yeah, shout out to Pure Scooters. Awesome. Okay, current Max owner. Curious if you plan to do a non-scooter share version. G30P. I like mine, but looking for a little more startup torque, higher top speed. Excited to learn more about this. Hey, Michael. Yeah. So cool. I'm glad you bought the Max. That's awesome. If you're looking, so we did a review of the spin version of the Max. It was the same battery, I believe, and same motor power. It's okay. It's not going to get up the steepest hills. It's 350 watts. We don't have the Max. We can work with Segway to get the Max. I don't think Segway likes me too much because I gave them a good review of the Max. I just said there's some issues with it that people need to think about, and I didn't get some good emails from them, or it was from the Indiegogo company that they were contracting with. Okay, I'm going to get into the review because if I keep reading comments, I'm never going to get to it. So let's just talk about the Kaabo Mantis. So you can find all of the data for performance of the Kaabo Mantis on the on our performance page, which is linked in the video description. So acceleration tests. So I'm going to even open up the page. One day I'll be able to actually like move the screen so you can see what I'm looking at here, and we'll figure out a way to do that. But if you go to the performance page, you can see cool stuff like this. So we have, and you can zoom into it, you can do all kinds of really cool stuff. So the deal with the Mantis is that the 0.8 does beat it to 15 miles an hour, but the 0.8 is extremely torquey at the very low speed. And 0.8 does really good. But then once you get to 20, 25, and 30, the Mantis really shoots up. And if you kind of look, besides a Dualtron Thunder X, Wolf Warrior, and Weeped, which are your super, super most extreme scooters, the Mantis is just above the 10X and 8X and just below the Weeped. So, and you can really see how that looks if you go to the performance page on our website. It is linked in the video description, and you can see how it performs all the way through the speed curve. It's super fast. It's got really, really good like throttle response, right? There may be a half an inch of like lag just at the very start, but then basically you're hitting really, really good acceleration. It's really a good ride, a fun ride. The hill climb test, it performed in 9.2 seconds at an average speed of 14.9 miles an hour. Again, you can go to the performance page and kind of sort and filter and see how that compares. Typically, you're right below the most extreme $2,000 to $6,000 scooters, and we are testing this on a $1,500 scooter. So it outperforms the Rev. It's really close to the 0.8. It's kind of like certain tests go a little better or worse than the 0.8, 0.10. So it's right in there at a price point that's extremely competitive. Braking test was 11.1 feet, and this is from 15 miles an hour. So I don't know how cars can do this, but 50 miles an hour to 0 in 11.1 feet. I think it was like 1.2 to 1.4 seconds. I always do the test a few times. It's really, really fast. And what that means for me, and that's safety, right? So again, we're going to go through a lot and do a lot on safety. But one of the things that's really important for safety is having pneumatic tires and also having brakes that work really well. This has dual disc brakes. They're semi-hydraulic. I don't know how to say this. They're semi-hydraulic, right? They're not fully hydraulic, but they're not fully not hydraulic. They're semi-hydraulic. And so the braking is actually very, very good. It's very fast. One of the things I think that helps the scooter stop quickly is when I slam the brakes, the tires actually didn't skid, which I think is really awesome. I think that helps the scooter to slow down actually faster. And if you've like right now, we're getting into fall here. There's a bunch of leaves on the ground. Sometimes it's rainy. Even though these are pneumatic tires, which is great for safety, not having the tires skid is actually a really, really good thing. So really like that. It also has dual electronic brakes, which are fully adjustable via the P settings in there. So you can adjust them 1 to 5. I think I have mine at 3. Actually, when I do range tests and things like that, I actually kind of like find the sweet spot in the electronic brakes. So I just hit those and I don't hit the disc brakes too much when I'm doing range testing. Although sometimes, car comes, boop, you gotta hit the brakes harder. Top speed. So top speed, it is rated at 40 miles an hour. When I did my speed tests, I got the display to show 42 miles an hour. Our Race Logic equipment showed about 38.5 miles per hour. There was more room to go. I didn't have enough room to take it up past that. And believe me, 40 miles an hour is pretty darn fast. We also, actually, I'm going to show you this. We also got a new helmet. We got this helmet. We got this helmet after we got this helmet after I did the speed test on it. So this is a full motorcycle helmet, which I'm now starting to wear, especially after our team has had some, hospitalizations. This is what I'm now wearing. It's a full motorcycle helmet. Look for a helmet guide to come out probably in the next week or so, along with a database to help you sort and filter helmets, just like we have for the comparisons. Sorry, I'm not looking at your. I should go back and look at the comments here. Cool. Yeah. Good. Julian's answering a bunch of questions for people. That's great. Yeah. I agree with all the comments. Good. Okay. Moving on. So for speed, so I got that thing up to GPS reading 39, display reading 42. Almost every display reads a couple miles an hour faster than our GPS displays. I don't know why. Just the way it is. All scooters. There was more to go. That scooter has more power to give than what I got it to. I would assume it would actually go quite a bit faster than 40. I believe that when testing with no weight, the throttle is 100% linear, which is great. It also in the max, I always test things in mode 3 maxed out, all P settings maxed out, top acceleration and everything like that. If you have no weight on it, the max speedometer will go to on the display unit is 54 miles an hour. But of course, you add weight, you're not going to get to 54. It will go, for my weight, 165 pounds, it will go past 40. I got it basically to 39, and it had more to give. I just, for safety reasons, I'm not going to go into an intersection blowing by, accelerating past 40 miles an hour. What was very surprising about the scooter, thing that I really, really liked, is the range was excellent. I didn't expect this range. It got 29.1 miles of range on our loop, and that's the same loop we use for every scooter. If you want to know the real world range of all these scooters, go to the performance testing and then go to the range section. I think there's probably 15 scooters now, 15, 20 scooters that have been range tested. It's definitely my least favorite part of testing scooters because it takes a long time. But I think it's valuable to know how far the scooters really go in a consistent way. Okay, so cool. All right, and then I'm just going to get to basic specs so you can understand a little bit about the scooter. 61 pounds for the base model. I believe the Pro version is 65 pounds. It's not a small scooter by any means, but at 61 pounds, how do I talk about this? 45 pounds is what I enjoy carrying up and down stairs. At 165 pounds, I live upstairs. My daily riders are all 45 pounds and less. Scooters that are more than 45 pounds are things that I don't really enjoy. I can't really pick up with one hand very easily. However, with this scooter, with the 08 that I just finished doing, even the Boosted Rev, unfortunately, that one's 46 pounds, but I need two hands just because the way that the stem is angled and it's so slick on that. With this, I can kind of just pick up the base with my right hand, and the left hand I put on the stem, and I just kind of like lift it up to waist height, and I can kind of keep my hip into the platform, and I can walk up and down stairs fine. It wouldn't be a daily rider for me. This scooter is for somebody that probably lives on the ground floor or you're a bigger person. Do I enjoy riding this scooter? I super enjoy riding this scooter. I've been riding this kind of as my daily rider between this and the Rev quite a bit because it's so fun. It's so fast. It gets up to 30 miles an hour so good, and that's about what I max out at typically when I'm just riding around town. So it's phenomenal to ride. Folding mechanism. Yeah, this is good. So one of the parts, I should just go through all the parts, but you guys are asking great questions, Marco. So folding mechanism. So, okay. Dirty little secret of electric scooters is a lot of folding mechanisms out there that are the collar style are not good. They have wobble. There's very few that don't, that are collar style. This is one of the ones that don't. Some of the newer scooters we're seeing don't have as much wobble. So the 08X, I've been able to tweak mine so it doesn't really have any wobble. This one here has the two clamps are, our review has a really good wording on this, but they're like back to back. They go opposite. I don't know. They're not both on the same side, the clamps. They kind of go like this. That, for some reason, I don't know what it is, but that collar I can tighten down and it is rock solid. It's not making any noise and I'm getting no wobble. And granted, I've only ridden this maybe 100 miles or so right now between Eli and myself. It's, I think, got 100 miles on it. I'm getting no wobble. Eli, so there was a cannonball race in San Francisco. Eli, our photographer, this is not where he crashed, but the cannonball race was Sunday was the expert, and it was 8-9 miles across the entire city of San Francisco. The top 3 winners for electric scooters were Ryan out of Los Angeles, which some of you guys know, being like basically the biggest, baddest scooter like ever. You got Formula One people that are on their team and everything like this. They spent money and got 3 of their scooters, came up from LA and all the rest of it, right? They sponsored alien rides over there, mini motor. They're different. It was a lot of fun, and there was a lot of like awesome teams and stuff like that. So 1, 2, and 3 place were all Ryans, right? Guess who was 4th? 4th was Eli on this exact scooter, not the pro version, literally the scooter that's behind me right here. He got 4th place in the cannonball run. So, I don't even know what I was talking about. What was I talking about? The stem. Okay. So the stem is super solid. Eli loved this scooter. He always gives me notes because he would ride it and take photos and all this kind of stuff. He thought the scooter was really, really nice. I also agree. Overall, it's super solid. And I'll go into a couple things I don't like, but almost everything is amazing. So the stem, you can lock it down, and then sometimes you actually unlock it and you can pull it right up. There's almost no stem. There's no stem actually that I've ever felt where you can actually unlatch it and have it go up. Typically, you have to unscrew it. On every other scooter, even good stems like the 08X has a really nice stem lock, collar style. You still have to do a little bit of management to get the thing to come up so you can put the handlebars down. This one, a few times I've actually gotten it so that it locked in place, was solid, no wobble, then just undid the latches and I was able to pull it up. Not every time, but it's actually as good as I've actually seen on a collar style. Then when you get this thing, I'm not gonna make this knock over like I do every week. When the stem folds, there's a little hook in the back, and our review, I believe, is now posted. I think Justin just posted. Yeah, good. Our full review is now online. You can see, I believe there's a picture of this little latch. It's similar to, I think it's a Dualtron 3. I think it's a Dualtron 3 that has that. So there's a little thing, you can't see it. And if you're strong enough, if you're like on World's Strongest Man, whatever, qualifier, you could pick this up with one hand. I can pick it up with one hand, but I would be like this and I'd be locking my arm out. It's a two-handed scooter, but actually I prefer to like lift it from the base and put one of the edges of the platform on my hip. And then I actually have no problem taking it up and down stairs. But if you have a garage or you have an elevator, like that's the money. That's what you need right there. So stem, really, really good. Looking at some comments. Cool. Looks like comments are doing good. Okay. So let's keep going. Okay. Motors, 2,000 watt nominal, 3,000 watt max, I believe. So nominal being what you can sustain for large amounts of time. The max being like a quick burst of energy. You can get up to 3,000 total, 1,500 per motor. So when I first rode this, I actually thought it really felt a lot like the Dualtron Spider. And then I looked at the stats after we did performance testing. I looked at the tires and everything like that. It actually is really similar to the Spider in terms of performance. And then the tires are almost the same size. And that's probably why, to me, it really felt like a Spider. Spider being, I think, 44 pounds. So that, I mean, Spider is in a class of its own as far as like power to performance and weight and all that stuff. Because 44 pounds, there's just nothing that compares. But it's also $2,450, so $1,000 more expensive than this model. Performance is really, really similar. But of course, the weight on this is, 15, 16 pounds more. Top speed weight, yeah. Battery capacity is 1050 watt hours. That's why I was so surprised that we got 29 miles out of it. So, the motors do run a little hot when you're charging. The motors do get a little hot, and after riding, they're a bit hot, a bit hotter than others. However, the watt hours per mile on this is like 30 something. I wrote it down, but you can do the math. It's 1050 divided by 29. The watt hours per mile are like phenomenal for the amount of power that this has. Typically, I would assume that you'd be somewhere between like 40, 45, which is the Emove Cruiser, up to 50 something, which is the 010X. This one, I was racing. I mean, shouldn't say too much because this is all I'm very safe, but I'm going hard. I go hard on range tests because I'm trying to kill it. I'm not trying to sit out there for 2 hours. So I was very surprised at 29 miles. It's a lot. Recharge time, 6 hours. Max rider weight, 264 pounds. Oh, let's talk about suspension. Okay. Well, this is a good question, actually. I'll stop here and answer a question. Hey, Dex Labs SEO, compared to the 010X, 60 volts, which would you say is more power, acceleration, comfort? Yeah, this is a good question. And you know what's cool is that I actually did the range test I redid the range test on our 10X the day after I did all the testing on this one. So it was just fresh in my mind. When you're looking at best comfort, suspension, and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to answer your question. Someone remind me to talk about suspension. I won't get sidetracked. Power, acceleration, comfort compared to the 10X. It's really similar. It actually is really similar. Power, the 10X has more dead space in the controller, in the throttle unit, which is a good thing and a bad thing. You don't get the super, super quick start like you do on this one, which is why if you look at our performance tests, the 0 to 15 time on the 10X is not all that good. Where the 10X really shines is like more of the top end power. So this one is pretty solid throughout. And you still feel the acceleration all the way up. Also, the 10X kind of does top out around, 33 to 35 miles an hour. It doesn't really get past that unless you have a super long runway. So where its sweet spot, I think, the 010X, is between that like 15 and 25 mile an hour zone, which is like the zone where you typically ride. So it's great. That's why we like the 010X so much. This has pretty sustained power through the entire acceleration curve. So it's not that it has more power at the top, more at the bottom, like 8X, super, super torquey at the bottom, right? But then after 25 or so, it kind of levels off a bit. 10X being more power towards the higher end, but then really kind of drops off around 33 to 35 miles. This one, you get acceleration even at 35. Like you're still accelerating. You can still kind of feel it. So it's a tough question as far as acceleration goes versus the 10X. I think this one is maybe a little more responsive than the 10X for that, and maybe a little punchier overall. I'll just look at the scores. We don't post the 0 to 20, 25, 30, and 40 times, although we have that data and I can look at that, but actually you can see it on the curve. And so it does beat the Mantis. Actually, I'm looking at it right now. You guys should look at this too. Is it does beat out the 10X. Basically, it looks like from right around the 15 to 20 mark. It's doing really well. The other question was, I'm looking for the acceleration power, and then so for comfort. All right. I was talking to Justin, who's writing the review, who just finished writing the review, about the comfort, because I was like, man, this Mantis is so comfortable. The when you jump on it, it's like a damn trampoline. Like, it's fantastic. It's got the coilover spring suspension. I'm like, man, this really feels like the 10X, which that Dualtron Thunder, Dualtron X, favorite scooters for suspension. I would say, and then I did the range test back to back on different days, and I'm on this same loop, like freaking 50 times. Like, I think that the suspension is actually about the same. I think the slight edge goes to the 10X because the tires are a little wider. So they're both great tires, pneumatic and all that stuff. But the 10X, I think, is a 3-inch tire, whereas this is 2.5. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, I'm sure I'm probably slightly wrong, but I'm not wrong that the 10X tires are just a bit wider, and that does cushion just a hair more. But I mean, I would put this scooter in the top 5 as far as comfort goes, because you've got fantastic tires, and really the suspension is it's best in class. I mean, it ties best in class with probably four other scooters, and every one of them is way more expensive. So fantastic. Okay. Someone asked about the seat. I'm going to let Julian handle that. Shipped. Do we know when they will be shipped to the US? Again, I'm going to let Julian answer all the questions that are for Julian, and he's answering them, which is great. So Patrick Ricardo asked if this now belongs in the best sub 2500 category on our site. Yeah, I mean, so the Spider, right, is less weight, basically really similar, $1,000 more, and just right at that $2,500 mark. So what we probably need to do is maybe stratify the dollar amounts. When we started this, there just wasn't as many scooters, and so the categories were more broad. And I think that we probably need to make more categories, because we have 300, 600, 1200, and then we go up to 2500. And so that gap between 1200 and 2500 is a big gap. I would say the Pro version of this would be one of my favorites, along with the 010X. I would say that. I mean, even the base model is amazing. It's awesome. And at $1,500, I mean, it's less than the Boosted Rev, which, we don't need to get into the Boosted Rev. That's like the most controversial scooter ever, but it's less priced than the Boosted Rev and has better stats in every department, except for maybe tires on the Boosted Rev are just so awesome for like carving and stuff like that. But I would say that is, and I would say we probably should update the site to reflect that. So will you be okay? 2.5 is correct. Awesome. And MRX10, ever heard of Nanrobot? Yeah, we have heard of Nanrobot. We actually are basically harassing Nanrobot to send us scooters. We haven't gotten any yet. And right now the reviews are a bit mixed on Nanrobot. I hear a lot of like, this wasn't working out of the box. We don't have a good chance of getting a hold of them, and we actually really value customer support as much as anything in this industry. We will be releasing brand ratings, the brands that we put on our site that we have reviews of, and everything. We'll let you know which ones have good response time in terms of email, phone, which ones have replacement parts, and even do you pay for shipping to them and back. Like we've got all that data, and now we just need to turn it into something that is usable. So look for that. The Nanrobot D4, D5 Plus, all those, really good price for the money. I just need to ride it. I need to check it out because the more we ride these things, the more we see the nuances to them. And there's these, even though they may look all the same at first glance, they're the little things that really make the difference with these scooters. And after riding just so many of them, now we're kind of able to see and kind of get a sense of why this would be good and why this would not be good. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So Skywalker 5S, 10S Plus. I haven't checked out the Skywalker. We're hoping to do that soon. However, the Speedway 5, amazing scooter. We like the Speedway 4 a lot, which is the Emove Cruiser, although the Emove Cruiser is now upgraded from the original Speedway 4. I can't say that much about Skywalker, but I can say that Speedway 5 is so durable, so long range. So they did add dual motors to that scooter. It's just heavy, but it's a beast, and it's maybe the most unbreakable scooter ever. Wow, Boosted Rev is getting no love. No. You got to, K Jones, read our review on the Boosted Rev. I've talked about this at length forever. I think Boosted Rev, I can see why they did what they did, and I really don't think most of their decisions are bad. I think it's a really good first effort. There's a couple things to change, but my feeling on it is that they were really trying to get a 40, 45, 46 pound scooter, and they did some things really well, but they had to sacrifice some range and suspension, right? And so on good roads, if you don't have a long commute, the Boosted Rev is really one of the most fun scooters out there, and another level of well-builtness. Okay. Yeah, Marco, yeah, you were going to buy the Rev, then I saw the Mantis. Yeah, I mean, I think the main difference is weight between the two. I mean, there are other differences, but you get less weight, 46 pounds with the Rev. You get 61 pounds with the Mantis, but for that extra 16 pounds, 15 pounds, you do get a lot more. You get, 19 miles more range or whatever it is. You get basically the best suspension in the industry. You get more power all the way through from start to finish. You don't get the water protection, right? The water protection on the Rev is extremely good. It's easier to carry. So it's really about where you live, and how you ride and your riding conditions that make that, kind of figure it out for you. Yeah. Range on the Boosted Rev for that price is disappointing. Yeah. Someone's saying the Nanorobot D4 Plus front suspension is trash. I don't know. Someone else said Boosted is trash. Even their skateboards have always had trash range. Yeah. So here's the deal though, right? We did a survey. So I'm not defending Boosted, but I just want everybody to know the full picture, right? And the way that people ride, let's just talk about range for just a second. It's amazing to have 29 miles of range, right? You can have long commutes, and this scooter, you can actually ride it for long periods of time, and you don't get that. You don't get that taxing on your legs and your feet. I do have one issue with this scooter, and that is the control, the throttle. The throttle is trigger style, and if you read our reviews, you know how we feel about trigger style throttles. Every extreme scooter except for Boosted Rev and Wide Wheel have trigger style throttles as opposed to thumb style or Rev, which is that sideways wheel. The trigger style throttle keeps your finger in this position. And if this looks weird, it feels worse when you're constantly putting pressure on it. Especially for 2 hours when I do a range test. So I get to feel out that stuff. Because the throttle is so responsive, I don't need to pull it down that hard all the way, which actually is a good thing, but it's not a good thing when it comes to keeping my fingers stretched out. The Horizon is the same position, but because it's such a less powerful scooter, I actually have the trigger all the way, engaged the whole time. And so what happens is instead of like this, I'm like this. And this is a really much more comfortable position to put your finger in than this. So that is probably every scooter has cons that, and we are unbiased scooters. Fluid Freeride does not pay us any money to make this review, right? We have affiliate relationships with like everybody, but we're going to tell it how it is. And trigger style throttles, I think, are inferior to thumb style throttles. It's just that every one of these manufacturers uses the same exact parts for that particular component. Every Dualtron is going to have the same kind of thing. All the Zero scooters have the same thing. Fluid Freeride, well, not every Fluid Freeride, but like the Kaabo scooters, same thing. So if you have smaller hands, right, and you're got your finger outstretched really far, and you have a really long commute, right, you might be shaking out your hand every little few miles or something. So that is just something to know. And you can twist the display around a little bit, the controller around, and try to get it to a little bit better position. Or you go to single motor mode or turn down the acceleration or the max power, and actually that, then you can have your finger closer to the rest of your other fingers, which will make it more comfortable. But if you read a review, that's basically the only con to this scooter. But I mean, the weight is just the weight. It's kind of a con, but it's the weight, right? And it's better than others. It's just not, it's not the Spider weight, right? But it's also not 8x, 10x, or Dualtron Thunder and those kind of things weight, which are much higher. Okay. Oh, Ryan isn't trigger. Okay. You know what? I actually haven't. I should ride everybody's asking about the Ryan. I need to ride it so I can get a good review of it because I don't know. Okay, let me just keep going through some questions here. Yeah, Casey causes a lot of, Electric review stated that the Mantis is one of the safest feeling scooters over 30. Did you feel that way as well? Yeah, at 30, super stable. I mean, there's certain scooters that you can get to 30, but it's not really a great experience at 30 miles an hour. This at 30 miles an hour, it's kind of like when I drive my fiance's old Mercedes. What does she have? She has like a 500 convertible. It basically, you don't know when you're going 80 or 90 miles an hour because it just feels smooth. There's no sound to this. There's no wobble. There's no creaking. There's none of that. And so at 30, it's very good, especially considering the tires are not the widest tires. So you do get that cornering ability, but I think because the suspension is just so good, that really helps you to feel stable because those wheels are just staying stuck to the tarmac so well, the tires, that is. So I would agree. Yeah, I would agree with Micah's saying that it feels good at 30. At 30, 35, closer to 40, you just feel the wind, really. Okay. Yeah. You could ride in second gear with full throttle instead of third with half, says Simon Anderson. Exactly. Yeah. So as you get to know your routes and all that kind of stuff, you will kind of feel what mode you should be in. You don't need to be in mode 3 all the time. If you're riding in the city, right, and you're around a bunch of other people, you can play with single, dual, eco, turbo, and then mode 1, 2, and 3, as well as the P settings if you want to get that deep into it. And you know what? You will probably want to start looking at those things once you ride the scooter for a while and you start to see your riding patterns and all that good stuff. Let's see. Fred Neal says he wants to work with Fluid Freeride. Cobblestone. Will this scooter be fine riding over cobblestone streets in historic parts of European cities? Can the suspension take that sort of torture? If any suspension can, this can. There's no suspension I felt that's better than this suspension. Maybe if I looked into the Dualtron X, just because it's so massive, it might do slightly better. You're gonna feel it's not like you're gonna be on a cloud on cobblestones, right? but the suspension, I wish I could jump on it for you guys. If we can get to doing a video review, I always jump on them. It really is like a trampoline. I think I should get a gymnast to like jump on the thing, because I think it'd be really fun to see how high they could jump. It's really nice. It's really soft, springy. It just feels really good, and it takes out the road imperfections just so well. Oh, good. Yeah, turn signals. So yeah, that's another good thing to talk about. Let's talk about the lights on the scooter. I guess this would be something that I would improve. So if you're gonna buy the scooter, you've got a couple sets of lights. I'm gonna show them to you actually. This is where I usually knock the scooter on the ground, and I'm gonna try not to do that today. So. Okay, so well, the light should. Well, I don't know what's going on. Okay, let me try this one more time. There's lights in the front. Okay, there's two button lights in the front right here. They're not ultra bright. They're gonna basically light up a tiny bit of the road. Do not recommend riding at night without more lights. You can find our favorite light on the video description. Get a headlight, mount it on the handlebars. If you're riding at night, basically for any scooter, you need high mounted front lights to be safe. Same thing goes for the rear. There is no scooter that has rear lights mounted high, because that's the way scooters are designed. So you can find our favorite rear mounted light in the video description. You mount it on your backpack or in the back of your helmet and you're good. This scooter has two button lights on the back right here in the platform. And then the other thing that the scooter has, I'm not getting, I think I need to activate something. Anyway, is it has lights on the side. So it's a blue strip of lights. On the video review, you can actually see the lights on there, those actually are kind of nice because it helps people to see you at night. This scooter, out of the box, you can't really see that far ahead of you because you don't have anything really bright that's mounted high. So get the front light and get the rear light. The ones we recommend, the front light's awesome. You can actually slip it out. It's rechargeable and it's 750 lumens, and that's adjustable as well. So it's perfect. And you have room on this scooter to mount a ton of stuff, okay? For the rear light, same thing. The one we recommend is rechargeable. So I went through, I have one somewhere on the desk here. Basically, you just throw away the other ones that are not rechargeable because you accidentally leave them on and then they're done. And they're not that good. So I would recommend that. And I think actually Fluid Freeride probably has some on their website as well. So you can check those ones out. And go back to the notes here. Look for some questions. Yes, Marco. Yeah, that's true. Mantis versus Ultra. What's your thoughts? Dualtron Ultra is really close to the Thunder, right? I think they're those are actually really different scooters. Ultra is going to be a bit faster, way heavier, and it's just a more beastly scooter, right? I can't remember the weight. I think it's 90 something pounds, 95 pounds. This is 61 pounds, so it's a 50% difference in weight. So it's going to have bigger battery, a little bit bigger motors, bigger platform to stand on, right? All that kind of stuff. Dualtron has legendary quality for sure, and they've been around a long time, and they've made a lot of scooters. So they're good scooters, and we do recommend them. We typically substitute the Thunder for the Ultra in most of our reviews. Holy crap! It's been almost an hour already, you guys. I gave it up. Yeah, I don't know what. It's always actually worked. I don't know why the lights are just not turning on for me right now. I wonder if there's something about the stem that I'll if there's. I mean, it should be working. someone just said, oh, I'm such an idiot. Yeah, there's a switch for the lights. Yeah, well, there we go. Thanks. There's a switch. Who said that? Someone said that. Fluid Freeride. Julian, thanks, man. Well, so check it out. These lights, you can see, I mean, this is daytime. I've got 3 studio lights in here. We got windows behind and in front of us. And you can see these are pretty bright. And I don't know if you can kind of see. Yeah, there we go. These are really nice. The front lights, I don't really, the button lights, sorry, Julian, they don't do a lot for me. The side lights are excellent. And they're really bright, and it's like really nice to have these at nighttime. So I'll leave those on so you can have a little light show for the end of the deal. Yeah. What, when things are folded down, I'm not going to make excuses. Okay. So, differences between this and the boosted, differences between them. Okay. Ask Ardasha KB. Yeah, I guess this is really similar, right? So 08X, Boosted Rev, and this scooter are really similar in price. Even the base model 10X actually is close to this price. So, but between the Boosted Rev and this scooter, range is phenomenally better on here. It's like, what did we get on the Boosted Rev? 10.3 or 13 or whatever. We got 29 on this one. Just a ridiculous amount of difference. And it makes sense because this is over 1,000 watt-hour battery. The Boosted Rev, I believe, is 370 watt-hour battery. So it is what it is. You can't get something from nothing. Boosted Rev throttle style, right? Some people like it, some people don't. We like it in that it's extremely responsive. However, with no suspension, what happens when you're riding, and again, read the review because it's a really nuanced thing that we wrote about that I've not heard anybody else talk about, and I don't know why because it's very apparent. But when you're going over bumps, and with no suspension, you cannot keep your thumb in the exact right place on the wheel. And so what happens is, because the throttle is so responsive and going backwards actually causes you to use both electronic brakes, and electronic brakes are good on the Boosted Rev. So the wheel goes electronic brake this way and then accelerator that way. You really can't keep your thumb in the same spot when you're going over any bumps. So basically, you just have to let your thumb off the accelerator, which is not a bad thing, but you can't keep in a riding position. So in that sense, the trigger style throttle is way, way, way better. Plus, you have suspension on the scooter, which is what the Boosted Rev is sorely lacking. I was gonna talk. Let me finish this, and then I never got to my point about the range that people actually ride. And I got another minute or so. I'm gonna try to get that out. So other differences: Boosted Rev tires a bit wider, which great for carving. This one super fun for carving too. I don't know if it carves quite as well. The Boosted Rev only has like a 2-inch displacement here, between the bottom of the deck and the ground. So the Boosted Rev is so like, the balance feels so good. But if you're not going fast and you're coming off of a curb, you're gonna scrape. And that's not a great experience. With this one, you have 6 inches of clearance. I just measured it yesterday for our review. You have no problems going over curbs. And with the suspension and everything, I mean, you can go off curbs all day long. So that's a big difference. Boosted Rev, water protection. This one, Julian can correct me, but I don't believe that there's a IP rating for this. So Boosted Rev really would take the cake when it comes to water protection if you're out in the rain, things like that. Lights on the Boosted Rev. You do have a front mounted headlight that is adjustable, which we really applaud them for doing. This one does not have as good of front lights, so you just need to buy one. Rear light, typically the same. However, this has the kind of swag lighting for nighttime, which is better than the Rev. Rev is lighter. They both have stems that lock. I would say that the stem lock on the Rev is best in class, actually. It's similar style to the Xiaomi. I know the Xiaomi M365 has had problems, but the Boosted Rev has gone through tons of testing. I assume they won't have problems with it. For right now, that one is like literally seconds to fold and unfold. And you can kind of pick it up with one hand. With this guy here, it's a best of the collar style system that I've seen. But it's still a little bit more hassle to get up and down, right? It's just not as portable of a scooter as the Rev overall. Yeah, top speed on this crushes that. The top speed on the Rev is 24, 25. On this, it's at least 40. That might be enough things. I just want to also say real quick that the average amount of people, the average mileage that the average electric scooter rides, and we know this because we did a survey. We had 207 people respond to it. We're going to do it again. But based on the 207 people that responded about 7 months ago to our survey, the average and mean, so the average was, I think, 7 miles of range per day. The mean was 6, which means that, and then I did the math, 83% of riders ride under whatever I think it was 10.3 range that the Boosted Rev got. So typically electric scooter riders aren't riding like tons of miles, and then the Boosted Rev is fine for that. And so really there's no best scooter, right? People always ask like, what's the best scooter? It's like saying, what's the best car? There's no best car. It's what is the best car for you. And so one thing we're developing is a scooter wizard, and that'll ask you a bunch of questions and then tell you, hey, we recommend these 5 scooters, something like that. Because I could ask people, 10 questions and basically get to about the right scooter for them. And it has to do with how far you're riding, how much you weigh, how many hills you have, all those kinds of things. Cool. Yeah, we probably need to wrap. I probably didn't even get to everything on the scooter. Let me just look at it, make sure I got to everything. Yeah, I think I got to everything. The kick, got a little kick plate here. So that you have a fender, you also have a kick plate, which is awesome. Let me just see if there's any other comments. Any other last questions? Just type them in, and then I'm gonna get to those last questions. It could be about this scooter, about any scooter. No IP rating, we're okay. Clearance, you mean? And also, again, for the next week, Fluid Freerides does have an exclusive discount where you can order this along with the fast charger, and you get the fast charger for free. So you can see there's a 6-minute power off function on this scooter. It also has, I don't know if you all know this, but secret tip to most electric scooters that have this kind of deal is there's a USB port. I don't know if you can see right here. There's a slot for you can plug in your USB, and so then you can also change how long the scooter stays on for when you're not riding. Right now it's set to 6 minutes. You can adjust that, and when you get your cell phone mount, so that way you're not holding your cell phone in your hand, because that is not a safe thing to do. Always ride a scooter with 2 hands. You can plug in your phone if you need it mounted for directions or whatever, so you don't have to hold it. And then it can be plugged in and charging off the scooter battery. So that display style does have this. Yeah. So anyway, the coupon code electric scooter guide for Mantis, electric-scooter.guide for Mantis, something like that. You can get the scooter. I don't think the prices are going to go up. I don't know exactly when. Julian probably has some sense of that. It's a new scooter. So right now is a good time to get it. I would say, because I assume the price is going to go up a couple $100. Okay. Has Julian from Fluid Freeride made an appearance? Julian from Fluid Freeride is in the live chat. He's not with me. He's with me in spirit. Lunar scooters. I don't know about lunar scooters. I've heard of lunar scooters, but don't have a relationship with them. Oh boy. Oh God. Wolf Warrior versus Dualtron Thunder. Mike A. Wow, that's such a good question. Thunder is $3,800. Wolf is $2,900. I would say, oh boy, the Wolf Warrior has the best. It doesn't have the collar style stem, and you get a set there's a tiny bit of play, but it's not, but you can actually retighten that play, meaning that you have a more solid stem. And when you're going fast, that's really helpful. You got that dual bar system on the Wolf Warrior. Suspension about the same, performance about the same, actually slightly better from our testing than the Thunder. Really, really similar. That's a hard one. I think for the price, the Wolf Warrior does kind of win. The light on the front is like no other light I've ever seen. It like broke the lux meter on the brightness of that damn thing. I have some videos that I can't share of people racing them on the street because it was a close course, though. Don't worry about that. It's an amazing scooter. The Wolf is, I couldn't keep it because it's too big. I think the downside to the Wolf is the size. It's 101 pounds and it's ridiculously long. Most other ways, I think it's kind of like my favorite scooter. I was able to get it up and down my stairs, but it was a feat. And you can see we have a couple videos on the Wolf Warrior. If you just go to our YouTube channel, you can see that. Again, I'm not. Yeah. Okay. I don't know Dafu's scooter. Oh, okay. USB port only on base model, not on the iDisplay model on the Pro. Good point, Julian. Thanks for pointing that out. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Yep. So yeah, I think Julian says Pro model LG batteries correct and mini motors. Yes. U-Scooter Booster V. So we are wanting to get the U-Scooter Booster series in. We have not had luck. My first scooter was actually a U-Scooter 3-point-something years ago. It was the original Booster. That was a scooter I rode for 2.5 years. No mechanical brake, only the foot friction brake and electronic brakes. However, those things fold so small and they're so portable and they're so good for like taking on public transportation. So different use case. I mean, there's a really different scooter, right? And typically solid tires, right? No pneumatic tires. So because there's no pneumatic tires and there's no disc or drum brake, the safety on those used scooters are not up to par. However, they last forever and they're pretty easy to fix, right? You're not going to get a flat on a solid tire scooter, but you got to be really safe. So I want to get one. I mean, we can only ask so many times before, we end up just buying one or whatever. And I guess we could do that at some point. Let's see here. Okay. I think that's about it for today. Really appreciate everybody logging in. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel right now. If you're still watching, if you're one of the 57 people still watching this, hit the subscribe button right now because like we want you to be our subscribers. We also get like little perks from YouTube and that help us out when we have more subscribers and that kind of thing. Plus, we got to compete with Ben Fox and he has 18,000 subscribers and we only have like 2,000 or whatever. So we need to catch up. Go to our YouTube channel. I think that all those links are in the video description. Join the Facebook to ask questions and to keep the conversation going. Our Facebook group has a lot of exclusive stuff because when we're riding, we're posting our results. And if you have questions, we're answering specific questions for you, like usually sometimes within hours, but almost always within 24 hours. Yeah. And thank you guys for watching. Instagram, if you want to see pretty pictures, go on Instagram. Right now, Eli is incapacitated, so it's me taking the photos. So, not quite as good. But yeah. And then also don't forget, coupon code for the Mantis, quite a good scooter. Thank you very much, Julian, for taking the time to be with us today for an hour. Shout out to you. And we'll be back next week at 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thanks everybody for watching. Ride safe. And don't forget to wear a helmet. Okay. Bye everybody. End in the stream. Ciao.